you're watching the replay, I am just putting a waterproof concealer, Limelight's waterproof concealer, number 4, on the lids so that there's a primer there for the shadow color. I could also use concealer 3. I'm gonna go ahead and start just because it's so early in the morning. It's my miracle morning, and Liz got up this morning with me to do this video, to redo it. Yesterday's didn't turn out quite right. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. This is Lottie's Dream On palette again, and I'm using the large shadow brush, and I'm going to use Crystal, which is the highlighted color, highlighty light color right here, as that base color on her eye. I'm not going to go all the way up because I'm going to try to show Tracy a color for those of us who don't necessarily want a full glam look. I'm going to go ahead and also fill in her eyebrows before I go any further.
I'm sorry, they're pretty bad.
So I'm going to take from Lottie's Dream On, I'm going to take the dark brown, tapping it off to get off the excess so I have less fall off coming on. Good morning, whoever's watching. And I'm going to follow the shape that she has set out using my brow tamer brush and the eyeshadow. Right here, because I want a much thicker line. Since it's very thin on her, I'm not going to tap off as much of the excess. Tilt your head down so you can see the difference between her brows with the shadow. I'm just going to fill them both in.
Mom, who is that?
Nelda. Good morning, Nelda. You were up early. Nelda owns the Rose Building in Odessa. It is an excellent venue for those of you who are having weddings or even business meetings, vendor events. Gorgeous. It's in the heart of downtown Odessa where they're doing all the renovating and bringing it back to life. And she's done a lot of original restoration. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous place. So you can find the Rose Building if anybody's interested in that. And thank you for sharing the video, Nelda. Alright. So I'm just going to finish fixing this brow. I'm going to look in here to make sure I've got them even. This is a weird angle to see from, so I can keep her looking at y'all. I'm going to have her turn to me for a second. This is my daughter, Elizabeth, if you're not sure.
They don't look bad.
Alright, so here we are with her brows. Now I'm going to go back to the eye color. So I'm going to have her lean in for a second. You can see, hopefully, the crystal only goes up to just above her crease. I'm going to take another brush and I'm going to put some powder, perfect pressed powder, on the top of her on the top of her, so I'm going to take the pressed powder, translucent, no color, and I'm going to put this on the top of her lid so that there's no bright colors up there.
I need to learn how to do that.
And that way there's going to be a separation with her brow. I'm also going to go back in when it's done. Oh, that's right. The operating room would, yeah, you're definitely used to an early schedule, even being retired. So I will go back and highlight under her brows in just a moment when we're done with the eye look. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm actually going to get this, let's see, what color do I want? I'm going to go with this color today. I'm going to go with this silver color. I'm sorry, yeah, silver color in the corner. And I'm going to go, can you open your eyes? Open, open.
Yeah, sorry.
And I'm going to go kind of in the crease and right above and take that color in there.
Ooh.
So I'll have her lean in a little bit so you can see. Okay, I'm going to have her lean out and I'm going to show you the difference between the colors using the 10 Years Younger spray. Because I know one thing that Tracy had asked was for the darker skin tones.
I cannot live life without this.
Without the 10 Years Younger?
Yes,
10
because
years
I
younger is
look
awesome.
I look like I'm 15 years old again.
Lift the camera. Yes. Let's see. Lift the camera. Let me figure out how to do that. It's going to be kind of shaky for a second, Nelda. Can you put those papers underneath there?
Yeah. That's good, right?
Yeah. So this one I didn't use the 10 Years Younger spray. This one I am using the 10 Years Younger spray. I sprayed it on the brush. Can you see that? Okay, there we go. So you can see the difference in the colors. Keep your eyes closed. So you can see this one's so much darker and this one's lighter. Is that better, Nelda? So I'm going to come back into this one. This is my first live video on someone else, so I'll have to discover all these angle issues. Alright, so I used that silver on there. Awesome, okay. Now I'm going to take the domed blender. Let me show you. So the one I just used was the pointed blender. Now I'm going to use the dome blender. It's a little bit more firm. And I'm going to take the 10 Years Younger spray, because this is a trick with darker skin tones. These are very high pigment, and as you can see from the silver, it was you were absolutely able to see it even without the 10 Years Younger, but the 10 Years Younger is going to make the brush a little bit damp, so you have a more of a collection of the color, and then it's also going to help it stay longer because it is a setting spray. So I'm going to then add this color down on the bottom on her lid. And I had put a concealer down on her eyelids first as a setting spray. I'm sorry, as a primer, not as a setting spray. The reason I'm doing her lids before I do her foundation is that there's going to be a lot of fall off with the high pigment eyeshadows, and so when the extra fall off is on her cheeks, I'm going to remove that before she does her foundation. That way she doesn't end up with that messed up look in her foundation right here where it looks real dark in those spots. that's kind of a trick. I think I just dropped.
That's why I do my makeup my eyeshadow
your lap?
before my makeup. What?
On your lap, did I drop the...
Oh, you dropped. I felt something drop right
Okay,
here.
go ahead and sit back up. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm going to get some more concealer so I can highlight under her brows in a moment. I dropped it. All right.
Oh,
so
look,
those are
I'm
the
white.
two colors.
Okay.
I'm going to take that large shadow brush again, and I'm going to kind of blend in the crease of these colors. This one I'm going to need a little bit more of this and this one because there's not a whole lot to blend in that spot. Oh, good. I'm glad you learned something.
I did too. I don't know how to do eyeshadow
I'm going
at all.
to blend the crease.
I just like put it everywhere.
That's only two colors right now. I'm going to add in the outside corner a touch of this dark brown as well, just to open her eyes up even more.
Ooh.
And I'm going to use some crystal in here. Both of these actions are going to open up the eyes.
I like crystal.
So now I'm going to take the one with the crystal, the shadow brush, the large shadow with the crystal, and I'm going to do that blending again, just to blend all those colors together for a softer look. There are styles called cut crease that make really dramatic lines, and they're great, but they're more of the glamour look. So if you're looking for glam, you might want those colors to be really distinct, but if you're just looking for a nice, beautiful eye look, you're going to want to blend them. Okay, so I'm going to go in now above her, right below her brows, and I'm going to highlight that brow by just taking a lighter concealer. So this is concealer 2, and I'm just going underneath her brow. For that highlight. Alright, so let me have her tilt her face down. I'm going to get one of my make-off wipes. Well, actually, no, let's use something else, because those makeup wipes, you don't necessarily want to use several of them every day. Or maybe I will. I was going to use Sotox. So a trick to get that off is to use the foundation brush and Sotox, brush that fall off away, but since my Sotox is not out here right now, I will use a make-off wipe. So these are our Alcone make-off wipes. I think you can kind of see it, maybe not. There's too much of a glare with the video, the lighting from my Ricky mirror. Liz is tired. I made her get up so early. So I am going to just take this make-off wipe and wipe below her eye to get all that fall off. And it didn't necessarily look like she had a ton. It looked like it might just be shadows, but I'll show you right now how much fell off. You can see how much of that all came off of by her eyes. So that's why it's important to do the eyeshadow first so that you can get rid of all that extra eyeshadow on the bottom of the eyes. So I'm going to have her look in, lean in really close, close your eye, so you can see that eyeshadow look on the darker skin. So I've got the, right here on the lid, we did the burnt, then we did a silver. On the inside, we did the highlight crystal, and on the outside over here, we did the dark brown. So I'm gonna have you back up. I'll have her go ahead and do the rest of her makeup and then post a picture in the thread so you all can see the final look. She'll have to wait probably till it's light out because it's still pretty dark here.
Oh, my eyes are sorry.
But that is the eye look that I did. So Tracy, one trick is using vibrant colors. You don't necessarily need a lot of them, but also using a setting spray to really make sure those eye colors stick, especially
The
after
light
you blend.
and the dark colors go really good together.
And light and dark using highlighting colors. So thank you, Nelda. All right, well, I hope you have a great day, Nelda, and if you're watching the replay, you can put your comments, your questions here, and we'll have those photos uploaded later today. Have a great day. Thanks.
Oh my gosh.